to go live. All right, so we are going live here. Woohoo! And I really do hope that the audio is coming through all nice and crisp clear. Otherwise, this could be a very interesting live stream. All right, let's quickly do a check. Perfect, most excellent. Well, let's get it going. This will definitely not be a long stream because I got works to do still tonight and work in the morning. So this will be very quickly all of my predictions for Deltarune tomorrow, because at long last we are finally getting chapters 3 and 4. And yes, I will be playing, and I will be utterly baffled by a lot of the puzzles as we go along, because hey, first time playing through. I have never done anything quite like this before, playing the game on the first day and then streaming it. But you know what? I really want to give that a try and experience Deltarune with as many people as possible. All right, Hand Heaven. Oh, I won't join in the fun like everyone because I don't have my game system right now. Happy Deltarune! Yay, yes. Happy Deltarune in less than 24 hours. Got a small shoe with a toothpick through it. Yum. It's kind of what my old shoes look like. This is the hottest tea shop. Hot. Choose your flavor. Oh, I will buy. And let's also get some Noel flavor and just enjoy for a most brief moment what it's like. So, let's see, we will drink the Noel. Oh, I thought I'd gotten the crisp flavor. Yes, we will buy. Get the crisp. Here you go. Crispy was added to your items. Alright. Okay, Noel, you get a taste crispy. What is this aftertaste? I don't know. Well, got to go and play Sky on my phone at the main time. See you later. Well, Hannah, thank you so much for just dropping in, even if it was for a small bit of time. Like I said, this is not going to be a very long. This is not going to be a very long live stream. Mostly because I've actually already said most of what I would say about the upcoming chapters in terms of what I think is going to happen. But since this was a request at the last live stream, I thought, you know what, let's give it a try. And just have some fun talking about what I think is going to happen, specifically based off of what I see as an author. Let's see, not enough yet for despairing, so jiggle your body around and despair. Alright. So, let's start right off the bat. Where do I think we are going to begin with the next chapter 3? I think that let's actually we'll defend some magic and sweetness. I think that the next chapter is obviously going to begin with Chris alone and in a new desolate area, which is going to be the couch. So we're going to have to move from the couch on over to TV land. And 300 dark dollars. Oh, what? It's a steal. Great doing business with you. Yes. Okay, well, we're all sold out. Sorry about that, Noel. What can we equip you with? Yeah, man, that's right. Everything actually weakens you. Alright, we shall forbear. So, I do believe that we are going to get started, again, over in the couch, and, and make our way through a whole bunch of, dust in order to meet up with Susie. And one of the things that I expect for us to actually see as we're making our way from the dusty couch on over to the TV are signs of what happened to the Dreamer household. Since Chapter 3 is going to primarily take place within the Dreamer house, there's a lot of secrets buried there. A lot of secrets buried under a lot of dust. And that's what I expect us to start finding really right off the bat. Stuff that we won't realize is all that significant until a whole lot later. I mean, that's kind of a very Toby way of doing things. Yeah, let's stop you guys. Let's see what happens when we go down here. Down, 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 down. Woo! Oh wait, yes, that's right. Dang it, I got us right back to where we were before. I did this the last time I streamed my way through this chapter. But again, I do expect that we're going to find a whole lot of stuff in regards to the Dreamer house. One of the things I would actually expect to find, and maybe this is a little bit of a reach, but I would not be surprised if we find Asgore's sheriff badge. Might sound a little bit weird to say we're going to find a sheriff badge, but just remember that Asgore was once the sheriff of Hometown, and his heart is there at home. And I think that when Asgore was honestly at his best in terms of the family, in terms of connection with the other people within the Dreamer household and with the town in general, was back when he was sheriff, and that potentially finding the sheriff's badge, Asgore's sheriff badge, still in the house, covered in dust, is a very beautiful symbolic way of representing what once was in the house, what the family once was, and what it has now become. It's broken. I think that that's something that we're going to find actually pretty early on, and I would not be surprised if the sheriff badge comes into play some kind of way later on. Now, as I said, seems like a bit of a reach because we haven't had any indication of that exactly, but again, I would not be surprised if that's something we did run into. Fabio says it's midnight for me. Iconic says, play tomorrow. I will be playing tomorrow. However, I will be playing later tomorrow because tomorrow I do work. I work until the middle of the afternoon. I have to then drive back into town, and then I have commitments I have to take care of. But I will be playing tomorrow. Fabio says, it'll be revealed if my apparently hyper-specific music predictions come true. Only time I brought it up here was the first stream of yours I was at, pretty sure. I vaguely remember that. Room Delta, the next day. Yes, the next day is nearly here. Say less than 24 hours. They implement Pluie into Deltarune. Oh, I see. Okay, play tomorrow. Okay, instead of play tomorrow, Pluie tomorrow. Yes, we'll finally find out about this Pluie, this secret boss, the most secret and most chaotic of bosses. Info. This is citizens' duty to properly rotate and release the mice using traffic signs. Alrighty. There we go. And there we go. Alright. It's a hole for the mice. Alrighty. Okay. Alright. Let's come on over here. Noelle, I need you to come on over here, please. That way I can release the mice at you. Come on. Yeah. Man, why is my brain... Yes, we are going to... Now let us release the mice. There we go. See, I got some of the love this time, Noelle. Alright. There we go. It's beautiful. Yes, the force field is still up. Move. There we go. Alright. Nora Vanguard says, "Oh cool, you're doing one." Yeah. Say, I got myself a little bit lost here for a moment, because I'm like, wait, how? It's only been like a month since I last played through this puzzle, and yet I'd already forgotten the mechanics. Say, tomorrow is going to be crazy, because I'm going in completely blind. I got no idea how I'm going to do. It'll be most glorious and most confusing. So I've already given my first prediction about the quest from the dusty couch all the way on over to Television Land. I would not be surprised if we run into something belonging to Asgore right off at the very beginning. And one of the things that I also expect is that there's going to be a lot of dust in regards to Television Land itself. And one of the reasons why I say that is because in the first chapter, if you go and you check out the television, it is incredibly dusty. And the Darkners, I think, will actually kind of have good reason to be all like, hey, you Lightners, you did abandon us. And the Dreamers, in many ways, did abandon whatever Darkners would have been in their house. The television was very likely a way in which the family interacted and got along with each other. And when the events at the bunker went down, whenever it was that Asgore and Toriel finally split, that the television no longer served its purpose. It was unplugged. It's been dusty. And so the Darkners, this might be a way more personal adventure in the end, chapter 3, because this will be Chris's home. There will be something that Chris and their family has very much abandoned. It's not just the television, but it's the family relationship as well. And I believe that that's going to be very core to chapter 3. Now, Fabi says, so yeah, it was Freedom's motif, not just one. It'll be tons revealed from the world revolving sequentially, since the circus had just one and Deltarune another, and Spamton had one in fight. The melody in dial tone may be the next secret boss Freedom motif, and there the circus will be chapter 4's secret boss theme. We shall find out tomorrow. Yes, we shall. Okay, so... Now on for the I love mice. Oh, it is working, Noelle. Alright. Time to get you across. I like how there's the difference between how you see her face looking straight on, and then when you look at her sprite down at the down there on the screen, she is ticked. Huh? Yes, exactly, Noelle. We're saving you. Come on. Say, stop thinking so poorly of us. There we go. Ah, Chris, stuck in this puzzle, I see. Wait, I get what that sound was now, Chris. Your brain must be crying. Yes, my brain is crying. It's crying because I have to deal with this. Whoop. There we go. Now, come on. You are indeed powerless, Noel. I mean, that's part of what your whole thing, your whole shtick is in the Snow Grave House. All right. Yeah, I'm a maestro of the emotional intelligence. You know what, Birdly, teach me. I wish I was a maestro of the emotional intelligence. And Mimi's here. Heyo, Lars and friends. See y'all again. Very excited for Deltarune 2.0 tomorrow. Going to be awesome and sensational. Oh, we'll get to Sans later. Even a broken clock is right once a day. Indeed it is. And sometimes a broken clock might be right twice a day. Birdly. Don't worry, I'll let everyone know that you solved the puzzle. Now then, some of the things that I expect to find in television land is that a lot of the shows and movies that we play our way through are going to be reflective of not so much Chris and Susie, but again of Toriel and Asgore, and also to a certain extent Azrael, because this is going to be a chapter that's going to give us some insight into, well, them. I think the whole thing of like the mobsters with the cowboys is going to be very much Asgore related, wanting to be the hero and everything. And I think we're going to find some of the more surprising stuff in that chapter be about Toriel and revealing her more wild and salacious side. And I think that one of the ways in which the television world is going to operate is that it's not going to be necessarily linear like all the other like the other two chapters have been. There's the waiting room / the green room area that seems to be very central to a lot of the newsletter promotional material. And what I think is that we're going to end up in the green room, and Tenna or someone else is going to be giving us all of these different quests to go on by going into different shows, into different movies. And so we then can kind of go out of order, I think, and go into all of these different movies and shows, experience them out of order, come back to the green room to rest and recuperate, and to kind of muse upon what it is that we've learned. That's my guess. Ah, yes, we are going to click. Oh, we are most definitely going to click. You know what we're not going to despair. Let's see here. And action against mouse. You unconsciously clicked on the pop-up about the demon summoning classes for teens. Yes. Another one? Woo. All right, let's see here. We're going to click again. And nope, we're going to have to, again, act on the mouse. Just click. Ooh, how did that happen? All right, well, we're going to spare you, Mr. Mouse. So, Nora says, I assume we'll get info on Toriel like how the green room is Chris's room. I don't know if... So, that could happen. Me, personally, I don't think that the green room is going to be Chris's room. I think that the green room is going to be very indicative of the television. I dug through the trash and found a seedy bagel. Oh, it's the best kind of seedy there is. And so here we got something from Omega. New episode of No Evil just came out on Newsgrounds yesterday. Oh, awesome. Uh-oh. Yes. We have a truces. A truce with Chris? That's impossible. Now then, the guy, I guess, kind of just jump ahead since we're right now facing off here against Barbly. So, jumping ahead to chapter 4, one of my big predictions for chapter 4 is actually not going to be so much revolving around Caddy. I've already said how I think the big reveal is going to be for Caddy that, hey, she likes Noelle, gasp. I think that one of the big reveals is going to be in regards to Jockington. And that Jockington is not happy at all with how his current life is. That he's plastered on a big fake smile. He just goes through it all day long and just kind of like stuck like, yeah, I'm just the jock. I'd like to be more than the jock, you know? I think that that's going to be the big reveal there for Jockington, is that Jockington wants to be more and doesn't know how to get out of it, which is a reversal of Birdly, where Birdly is desperately trying to hold on to his status as the smartest kid in the school, when very clearly he isn't. Let's see here. Value says, mess up seed, normal seed is interesting. Not only do dark worlds vary if someone's going to be another object, a weapon, some armor, or people, but also varying sizes if those are Chris and Azrael's beds and Lars's couch thing both get to be true. Burglary? Burglary? Yes, burglary. Yes, I have kidnapped her. Birdly, this is your chance to be the hero. But first we're gonna have to play dumb, and we're gonna have to use a little item right here to get Noelle back up to. Shame I must defeat someone so lowly. We gotta get Noelle back up to full HP because she's gonna get hit. Oof. See? Like right there. Alright. Let's see here. We're going to now play smart. You encourage Noelle to use her mind. Her magic has increased. Burley found her smarts appealing. I guess at this point I should mention that I definitely misspoke in one of my latest videos where I accidentally said that Burley had a huge crush on Noelle. I meant to say on Susie. Oof. Sorry, Noelle. I'm going to play dumb again, and I'm going to give you another seedy bagel. You pretended to spill your IQ points on the floor, which just goes to show how actually truly brilliant Chris actually is. Comrades. Woo-wee! Ah. Alrighty. Let us... We are going to play dumb, magic, we're going to do the sleep mist. And there they go. I have a loving team behind me. They'll never beat us fighting alone. Sorry, Burbly. Alrighty. I have to continue playing dumb and continue just feeding you these little bagels right here. You pretend to knit a homemade dunce cap. Ah, man. Actually sounds great. I'd wear a homemade dunce cap. Say, I like how, like, very subtly right there. Oh, man. I am not doing too hot right here. Sorry. Play dumb. Dang it, can't use... Yeah, we'll use another CD bagel. I like the little hints here and there throughout this fight and throughout others of what Chris may be saying to Birdly that's getting underneath his skin. Like, how about you summon more people? Oof. There he goes. He's finally hitting Chris. Because Chris is getting now truly under his skin. And now I'll use a little heal prayer on Chris. There we go. Why are you hitting me? Don't worry, it's all part of the calculations, my dear sweet Noel. Oof. Should not have gone for that one. Oh well. Play smart. Condescendingly preens. Let's see here. We'll do another play smart. Yeah, I know. I took you down right there a little bit, Noel. It's because I need the TP. Alrighty. Okay. So now we can again play smart. And we smarted him into defeat. Preening himself with the meanest side eye included. Oh, absolutely. That's Burley all the way. No, absolutely not. We should not have gone any easier on this kid. He's got to be taught a lesson. Chris, go ahead and train your strength values. Try hard and maybe someday you'll be a worthy rival. Sometimes I can't believe how cool I am. And how anime protagonist you are. He hit me in the face with a tornado. Don't worry, Noel, you get used to it. And yeah, I know I totally knocked you out, but hey, bygones and all that, you know? The power of chicken nuggets. Alright. So coming back to my predictions for the upcoming chapters, I highly suspect that we are going to get to see how to draw dragons in chapter 3. My big reason for this is that this has been a little joke that has been teased throughout chapters 1 and 2 so far. It's something you can find searching the house at the beginning of the day, and you're all like, oh, this thing is super immodest, which clashes with the whole Toriel and Dreamer vibe. Then Birdley brings it up if you exhaust all of his dialogue over in the library. Then, again, in chapter 2, you can find the book again. It says Azrael will never be returning this book. And if you have Noelle click on the pop-ups, she looks up, she actually looks up how to draw dragons. So this is something that I suspect that when we're trapped in the Dreamer house that we are absolutely going to see pop up. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be embarrassing. I will be shocked if we don't see it in chapter 3. If it's just a running gag after that, I will be like, Toby, you missed an absolutely perfect opportunity. And that's actually one of the things with jokes. Like, it's fun to have a running gag, but if the gag begins to kind of get bigger and take on a life of its own, the creator or the author really should deliver like the ultimate punchline for that particular gag. Kind of like in the Goonies with Chunk, how Chunk is always a liar, and we get to see this come again and again and again and again and again until the moment where he is absolutely telling the truth and no one believes him, and so he then has to go and save the day. Cool. Robotic even. Yes, Noelle, you are indeed most robotic. Everyone gets in the car. Somebody says, man, I got a flashback to a Deltarune. There we go. Flashback to a Deltarune analog horror. Oh, really? There we go, potassium. Yes. You know, I've actually never once tried to run anyone over. I've always avoided them until this very moment. You've now gotten to see what happens when you decide to start hitting people. I didn't know that. Yeah, over there on the other side of the road. Oh, so much traffic. Now then, one of the things that people have suggested as far as Chapter 3 is concerned is that Undyne will be a big part of the chapter. I personally don't see Undyne being a big part of the chapter at all. And my reason for that is that at this point in the story, it's kind of hard to justify making her such an important character. Like, we've gotten a chance to see her, interact with her. There's the whole Undyne and Alfie's thing. I made sure I had Chris and Susie eat the chocolates like the little gremlins that they are. So, like, yeah, she's there. But again, Chapter 3, I feel, is definitely going to be more about the Dreamers. And where so many people are expecting to see Undyne, I suspect that Asgore is going to be the one to come in through the front door. My reasoning for this is that, yes, Toriel called the cops, so Undyne's going to show up. But who was the person who trained Undyne to be an officer? It was Asgore. Who is always looking for a reason to pop back into the house? Asgore. Who very likely has a stolen cop radio, or even has one on loan from Undyne? Very likely Asgore. That is what I'm expecting to be the case. That laugh. Hey, Undyne, oof. Yeah, I love Undyne, and I think that it's quite possible that she will play a bigger role in the story going further into the chapters. But Chapter 3, it just, again, to me, feels like it's going to be very much a Dreamer-centered story. Because coming back to it, with what little screenshot we've gotten to see of Susie and Chris together in QC's diner, is Susie saying that Chris's family is really weird. How would she be able to assess that after only getting to see Asgore and Toriel interact once the day before, and then spending a whole night with Toriel and Undyne? I don't feel like it really works that way. More likely, Toriel and Asgore. And Chapter 3 is not meant to get the two back together. It's meant to help us explore what exactly happened that broke up their marriage and has led them to be who they are now. So that is currently my big call for Chapter 3. People are also wondering about Tenna and Mike. I don't really know what I would really say about these characters, considering that we don't really know anything. There's a lot of fan speculation about Mike, and what I would offer is that through whatever we learn, like chasing Mike as potentially one of the alternative bosses that we could go up against, much like with Spamton, is that we're going to learn through his perspective or through his dialogue more about how the different Dark Worlds were connected. Because Spamton is over in the library, Mike is going to be way over at the Dreamer house. So there's got to be some sort of connection. Also, Queen is over at the library and King has been over at the school. There's clearly a connection between the Dark Worlds that we don't fully grasp yet. And I think that's something that Mike is going to help us understand just a little bit better. That's what I believe is going to happen as we chase his particular side of the story. All right, Fabio says, so there's two choices on how that book should look as a darkener, other than completely different, since that would also add to the same joke. Oh man, yeah. Again, I'm hoping we run into that book. And here's a chance to be a big shot, kid. And the thing you need. That's hyperlink blocks. You want it. You want hyperlink block, don't you? Well, I've got a deal for you. All you have to do is show me your heart-shaped object. Your lightener, aren't you? You've got the light. Why don't you show it off? Yes. Let's do a deal. Hey, I've never seen that heart-shaped object before. My eyes are burning like DVDs of any movie at half price. I have a very special deal for you, kid. I'm not. Wrong. Try again. Enlarge yourself. Deal. Alright, deal. Chris, in a business you need to say you're interested. Tell me more. That's the attitude, you little slime. Deals like this only come in your ant-sized, rapidly shrinking life. Transmit Romer. Alright. Let's see here. Let's do the heal deal. Believe it or not, I used to be a big shot, the biggest, but now I need a little generosity. Yum, delicious Cromer. Did you have any more? You felt your Cromer being absorbed. Wrong choice. Meat logo single straight from my... Oof. Congratulations, you are the 100th visitor. Click here to die. Alright, let's deal. Thank you. That's right, and I don't need money. I'm a salesman. I was never in it for the money. Get big and win wild prizes. Ooh. Dang, I am not doing too hot on this round. Alright, let's see here. We got acts. We got deal. I was only ever in it for the freedom. Make your own deals. Call your own shots. Sometimes in the morning, a little hyperlink blocks. Oh, I do wonder what's happening in the morning. Sounds good, doesn't it, kid? You want to be just like your old pal Spamton? Take the deal. Now that's what I'm talking about. You got guts, kid. That's the discomfort and abdominal pain in my guts. Get that you win wild prizes. Alright. Spamton Mother's 1997. We're gonna heal and deal. Don't worry, kid, I'll give you a deal insurance, only for the low price of 1,000 Cromer. An awesome price, absolutely terrifying price. Price is so low, everyone I know is dead! Yes, you live a crazy life, a life without insurance. Oof. There we go. Acts. Good deal. Don't worry, kids. I'm an honest man. I just need your account deals and the number at the back. Then you can enjoy 1,000 free Cromer. Yes. You're a real big shot move, kid. You're like me. Desperate. But we know what we want, don't we? Wild prizes, hot single and first 100 customers, and most of all, hyperlink blocks. Hey, you know what? Chris has got the copy of How to Draw Dragons. He definitely, they definitely want hyperlink blocks. Yes, deal. Then a deal's a deal. Hope Toei doesn't impose a 24-hour ban. To my knowledge, no, but most others are imposing bans on spoilers for like the next month on this game, and I'm okay with that. I lost money. Now on to the next step. I'll be waiting at my homemade storefront site, and in the trash area closed for repairs. Come alone. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more hyperlink blocks. Oh, I'm all about providing that hyperlink blocks. Oop. Next up is my CD of vintage hard disk noises. No, Noel, you need to hear more of that, those amazing sounds. Poster storm revealing a faded one underneath. Big Shot Autos. Take a ride around town in our special. The rest is cut off. There we go. The way is now open. Get in. Come on, get in, losers. We're going. All right. So, I know I've already talked about this in another video about what I think is going to happen with Chapter 4, but I'm just going to reiterate this. I highly doubt that we're going to the church in Chapter 4. My reason for that is because the church is so close to the bunker, and I feel like the story is slowly trying to get us closer to the bunker physically. And so kind of jumping already to such a close location just doesn't feel quite right. And the church, even though, yes, Noel is religious and there's the whole Rudy says he's going to go to church and everything, because none of us actually expect Rudy to be at church in Chapter 4. I think it's far more likely he's not going to be there. Noel is going to be distraught, so she's going to be at home. And that we then have to go on over to the Holiday Manor to meet up with her there. And it'd be really cool to finally see the Holiday Manor. Get that reveal of like, ooh, the map is expanding, it's growing, and Toby has said that that these next two chapters are especially big. So I think that would really play into that, and even though even though it feels like there's this church motif, this churchish atmosphere to Chapter 4, it would also fit very well for a manor, a mansion, and the dreaded castle that Noelle finds herself again locked in, and so I just feel like the manor is probably the more accurate place to put our money on. And another reason for why I don't think that we're going to go to the church just yet is because that would require us really to get to know more about Alvin Boom, and by extent Gerson. And honestly, I don't think that we're meant to learn more about the Boom family, especially after whatever bombshells are going to come with the Dreamer family, simply because the Booms have a connection to the Dark World that is far older than the one that Chris has. No matter like what happened in the bunker, the Booms have a much older connection. They know more about the Dark World. And sure, yeah, you could have us go on over to the church, have our adventures there, save Noelle, become friends with Caddy and Jockington, and then move on and not have any real interactions with Alvin Boom. But the reason why I feel like that doesn't necessarily work is because Alvin in the background is being built up as a character who will go to the Dark World. Let's also consider who should all be going into the Dark World. So we've had Chris, Susie, Noelle, and Birdley, 4 members of our 9 classmate class. Toriel is definitely going to be in the Dark World, and there's a good chance that Asgore is going to be there. So already that's 6 of a lot of very important characters. Then Chapter 4, we're going to get Caddy and Jockington. that takes us then to 2/3 of the class. By the end of chapter 4, there's still 3 chapters to go. And I highly doubt that Snowy, Monster Kid, and Temmie are going to be given their own individual chapters. Very likely, Snowy and Monster Kid are going to be chapter 5, with Temmie either being shoehorned in or being in chapter 6 and having like a really cool adventure all to her own that we just can't guess because it's Temmie. Temmie defies all rationalization and all imagination. So there's that. So it would then make you wonder, okay, so what would then chapter 7 really be all about? We know that Azrael is coming back to town. What I think is far, far more likely is that chapter 5, I don't know which location chapter 5 is going to give us, where the Dark World's going to be, but I believe that chapter 6 is going to be the church, and chapter 7 is the bunker. I think that's where all of this is going, and that we are meant to become friends with all the members of the class before chapter 7, so that way we can rely on the entire class to help us take on such a monumental task as going into the bunker and defeating what is ever in there and uncovering the true secrets. And leading up to that, you need a strong penultimate to set all of that up. What better than the revelations of the Dark World, of its past, of the night, and of how the booms play into all of it, than going to the church in chapter 6, and they're learning about how Alvin Boom and Gerson Boom play into all of this. Again, I'll be absolutely shocked if they aren't, because Toby's been leaving quite a bit of information about how Alvin and Gerson have been a part of this, in regards to images that we see in chapter 1, dialogue options in chapter 2. Gerson very likely having gone to the Dark World as he was daydreaming, not just in the park or at the cemetery, but very likely in other places as well, and wrote his best-selling novel series. Don't forget to press F1 for help. Unfortunately, I forgot. Fido says, only time Toby cared about any spoilers was at the start of Undertale's popularity, where he didn't know how to react and even sent stuff for YouTubers not to play Undertale. What would the stained glass in the trailers mean then, though? Here's the thing. Have any of you ever been to a very expensive house? I have. And I don't live in one. I've been though to a number of expensive homes and manors. I have seen painted glass up in private homes, and for a manor/mansion, oh, absolutely. In fact, it would not be out of place for, let's say, the attic to see some really old stained glass windows, painted windows in the attic area, and that just helped to add to the creepy vibe. And again, I think that I really do believe that Toby tried to throw people a little bit for a loop by making us think that we're going to the church. Again, if we go to the church, then okay, we're going to the church in chapter 4, but I personally don't see it. I feel like that's jumping ahead in so many ways when it just wouldn't work. And here's another reason why I say that it just wouldn't work, is that it would give us a lot of information that I feel like we haven't earned by the end of chapter 4. And what I mean by that is that, again, if you go to the church, you are stepping into the world of the Boom family, of Alvin and Gerson. And to already start dropping a lot of information, and sure, people can say, hey, Lars, there's no guarantee that Toby's going to give us this kind of information in chapter 4 if we go to the church. And I understand that. But again, let's see here. Let me not stutter and properly map out my thoughts. So, if you go to the church by chapter 4, the expectation is that you're going to meet with Alvin and you're going to learn a lot from Alvin, because Alvin has a lot of information that we do need going forward, because his dialogue indicates that he knows about the Dark World. So let's say we go to the church, but Alvin doesn't share any of that stuff with us. Okay, so we then have our adventures in the church, and we save Noel, and it's a carrot left dangling. Ooh, play the other chapters, find out more, find out what Alvin has been hiding all this time. One of the reasons why I feel like that wouldn't work out too well is because Alvin has already been presented to us as a rather forthright character. Oh man, I got a sneeze coming on. Woo, excuse me. Father Alvin has already been presented to us as a very forthright character. While he doesn't give us everything, I mean, the guy opens up about the sins that Azrael confessed to, which is like he didn't even need to do that. And that's an embarrassing story that he didn't need to share, but he did. And he is very blunt about how Chris should be coming to church, not just for the sick, not just for the sick free juice, but because it's the thing that he should do to worship and all that. Then there is, and thank you, I'm Omega, for the bless you. And yeah, you've seen some of your grandparents' house. Yeah, in older homes, you very well likely may see some stained glass windows. And I've actually been to a more recently built house that was built all posh, that also had not stained glass windows, but had specially made windows to create fractures of light and create a really neat effect when the sun hits those windows just right. So it doesn't just need to be in a church where you'd see that. And thank you as well, Mivik. Now then, and so Alvin is blunt, he's straightforward, he's open, and he's even open in the cemetery about his father. And so just seeing that, like, it would not mesh well with his character as he's already been established to start holding back information right now, when very clearly the Dark World is there in his church. You could play that off. You'd be like, oh my gosh, he's scared. Like, this shouldn't have happened. And he like secludes himself away, hides himself behind a door. And you then get blocks of like, you knocked at the door, but and you heard rustling on the other side, but Father Alvin refuses to answer. And Susie's like, well, that's dumb. We want answers, old man. And then you would expect that you would get answers. But no, chapter 5, again, is going to then focus more on Monster Kid Snowy and likely Temmie. So as a result of that, you would just be kicking the can frustratingly down the road to a later chapter, which would kind of betray what's already been established of Father Alvin's character. So thematically speaking, and working in terms of like what we know of the character of Father Alvin, it doesn't quite feel right. Now, Toby might surprise me if he does have chapter 4 set in the church and we get crazy reveals at the midway point of the story. Then I hope that he does it incredibly well and we will all enjoy it. But just speaking as an author and as someone who's read tons of stories and has watched so many shows and movies at this point, yeah, your midway point into the story should be big. Like Shakespeare, not necessarily Shakespearean big, where like suddenly people all start dying left and right. But yeah, you want to have something big. But I feel like that would be too big to give us too much about the Dark World so soon. I feel like it rewards Toby and us as the players far more to slowly tease the connections that Alvin can provide for us, while we focus primarily on what the story has been about and what Toby has reaffirmed time and time again, that Deltarune is about becoming friends with everyone. And I feel like that is what is key. We must first become friends with everyone in our classroom and starting more around hometown, healing hometown of its wounds before we can confront the dark and lasting consequences and events that happened in the past. Chapter 3 is kind of meant to help give a wink and a nod towards what that will be like going forward by giving us a chance to get some big answers about the Dreamer household. But I don't think that Toby would then immediately jump into more of what happened in the past when there's so much that needs to be done in the present. And chapter 4 is already going to be focusing on Noelle, Caddy, and Jockington. That is a lot. That is more than what we got here in chapter 2. Not to mention all of the build up to whenever the fair is going to be and all that stuff. There's so much that needs to be done that honestly doing chapter 4 in the church and then skirting around Father Alvin would just feel like a real letdown to something that is thematically being built up as a very impressive and important place, time, and a person connected to that very important site in hometown. That is why I do not feel like chapter 4 will take place in the church, but that it will instead happen over in the Holiday Mansion. Mink says, I've been to various bougie, fancy mansions and houses over the years. Very many of them have their own stained glass windows, as well as other distinct choices. They're very unique to that house. All right. Fabio then says, those enemies looked very church-like, but they didn't look like any church-related, right? So, from the enemies that I have had the chance to see, they look more akin to Christmas decorations, which again would kind of fit one of the images that we've seen of Noelle in an attic. In an attic, likely in her house, surrounded by holiday decorations. And here's also one of the big things that I would, this is what I will call for chapter 4. The holiday family. Oh, Christmas, Christmas, all the time. I think this is what I'm going to say. This is my next big call for chapter 4. Is that we're going to learn that the holidays have not been very Christmassy in a long time. Probably ever since Des. When Des disappeared and Asgore resigned in shame and the Dreamer family split. I think around that same time is when the holidays packed up Christmas and that they have not truly celebrated Christmas in a long time. That very likely it's all been for show to the outside, but back at home, it's just empty. That the holiday spirits, in terms of Christmas, but also just in terms of the family spirit, the family strength, the happiness, the good cheer is gone. And it's especially been gone ever since Rudy got sick and had to go to the hospital. And that's why, again, I feel like chapter 4 is really going to be about trying to save Noelle. And why Caddy's going to play very prominently into that role, because she has been to the Dreamer house multiple times to help out with whatever Noelle wanted, and very likely because she's there because she has a crush on Noelle, and that would be honestly a perfect setting, an excuse to really start exploring also the geometry of love, which I did one of my previous videos on about the different connections that we so far know between these characters and how they might be explored in this upcoming chapter or chapters. And Meg says, it's like a whole different world in some of these mansions houses. There's so much to explore inside them, kind of like the Chronicles of Narnia, not to mention they're great places to play hide and seek too. Oh, yes, yes. Five says, that's why I set up above. Hey-oh. All right. Fabio says, those revealed yokai-looking enemies could be Christmas tree balls or something. Oh, sorry, Fabio. Yes, I missed that. But yes, yeah, I think that it's really just going to be Christmas decorations. Which the fun thing is that I actually did a fan fiction a while back of Chris, Susie, and Ralsei going into a Christmas tree dark world and fighting their way through it. That'd be fun if we get to see Toby's variation of that. Also, let me just say this: that particular fan fiction was inspired by an idea that I had going way back into elementary school, where I thought it would be a lot of fun to play a Super Mario game that was Christmas themed, where Mario and Luigi have to fight their way up a Christmas tree and go to different Christmassy worlds. That game obviously has never come into existence, and so 2 decades plus later, I finally put that idea from like fourth or fifth grade into existence. Huzzah! The power of fan fiction. Fire says, funny, the secret boss that suddenly popped into my mind for a church dark world some time ago could also fit into Noel's house. A holiday-themed house could have something like a small Jesus on the cross thing, and the idea popped up for some reason was something like that looked like the angel. Yeah, I think that chapter 4 is definitely going to give us a lot more of hints about the angel, or angel's heaven, what that really is. But we still won't really know a whole lot because we're missing one of the important components, which is the knight. And again, no, I do not believe that Chris is actually the knight. If Chris ends up being the knight, I will eat my words. I will have a video of me eating my words. If that is the case, because it's honestly just too simple of an explanation. I kind of like the idea of Des being the knight, because that'd be a great way of bringing her character back in a very interesting, profound way, which would heavily influence Noelle, I feel like Noelle is going to be put through the ringer in chapter 4. Because in chapter 4, she's definitely going to try to make her feelings for Susie more known. But again, if I'm right that Caddy is going to try to do the same for Noelle, that's going to clash. That Noelle's not really going to know what to do. And then when the fair comes, I'm very certain that she is going to see Chris with Susie. And that is going to break her heart for one reason or another. Does that mean that my ship Cruzy is going to set sail? No, not at all, actually. Because I think that's almost too simple. If there is any romance to be culminated, to be had in Deltarune, it'll be something for the very end of the game. So that is that is my thought right there. Okay. Fire says a darkener that looks like the angel but way smaller, and they go mad after, among other things, finding out what exactly they resemble and why people treated them differently. Well, that's very interesting. I like that idea for a boss. Mimic says, and the ultimate dark Christmas, they'll fight his Uncle Krampus, aka Anti-Santa. Hey, Mimic, in my fanfic for a Christmassy Deltarune, I have them go up against Krampus. All right. So, it's been about an hour. And as I said at the beginning of the stream, I could only go on for so long because there's still things I need to do tonight, as well as I've got work in the morning tomorrow. It's going to be a very long day. So we'll get us to the next save point, and then we will call it a night. Yes. So what perfect time to bring up December. Ooh, Chris is here. My bet is something will be set up once Chris gets agency back, and then we get a time skip. A time skip would be interesting. I would not have thought of a time skip for Deltarune. Let's see. Maybe says, "Oop, called it. It's official. I'm psychic." Yes, very nice. Now then, in regards to December, I think that I don't think that we're going to learn anything really significant about December in chapter 3. I think that we're going to learn some significant things about December come chapter 4. Because again, if we're over at the Holiday Mansion, that would be the perfect place to have those kinds of conversations about her, who she was, and what happened the night that she disappeared. Back when it was just the four of us kids. Gosh, remember that night? I never found anything interesting back there. I mostly remember crying because I was scared. Ah, yes. B. And there's little Noelle. But for some reason, I feel nostalgic thinking about it. Just wiping away my tears with Azzy's jacket, with warm sleeves that smelled like cinnamon. I guess I didn't mind being scared if it meant someone would comfort me. Now, an interesting thing about that is that what Noelle says right here seems to imply that December did not vanish the same night that they went into the bunker. Which is kind of interesting because we normally kind of compound the two. So either Noelle is misremembering something, or December vanished shortly after they all went into the bunker. Or they went to the bunker, tried to explore it, Noelle got scared, they then took Noelle home, and then the next day, Chris and December, and maybe Azrael, went back to the bunker. And then that's when everything went down, when December went missing, and when Chris lost their soul, and the player was then inserted instead. So, there we are. Oh yeah, you gotta play through this first. Oh no, she's coming back. I'll hide in that stall. Make sure you put on your box again there, little missy. It'll be cool to experience brand new stuff since I didn't get to since Undertale. Well, you know what, Fabio? This will be good. I'm so looking forward to the new content as well. It's going to be a good adventure. Little did Noelle know that she had a Susie doll there all along. Well, I mean, it could be any doll depending on who you give it to. There you are, Chris. Check out my new attack. Healed. Oh, I'm feeling slightly healed. And slightly is a lot. Is that a gift for someone? Yes, we're going to give it to Susie. Because Susie's the best girl and she needs the gift. She needs all the love that we can give her. Well, Taste got to do something stupid like that. Yes, it does. Ah, man, so much tsundere coming through at this moment. Cool box. Thump, thump, wait. You're on their side. Yes. I'm going to get you out of this one, Noelle. Chris, I could be on your team. Oh, really? I love this. I love that, just that weird glare that the sprite is giving Chris in this moment. Well, Chris said so. So get in line already. Hey, Noelle, eyes up here. Eyes up here. Okay. File saved. That will do it for us here. So, quitting. There we are in our spinning spiral of death. Healing Hadouken. I'm going to attack you with healing powers, Chris. Exactly. All right. So, again, this was really short. This was just me following through with a request to give my predictions for the next 2 chapters. They are coming out tomorrow. I do intend to play them live, and I will be doing it later in the day, later in the evening, because again, I've got I have work tomorrow, and I have other obligations. But I am so excited for Deltarune. It is finally here. It is finally tomorrow, and it's going to be a blast. I hope that you guys who are intending to play the game have the chance to play it on your own. Hopefully, you don't get spoiled for anything, and I hope that you have a fantastic time and also have a great night, morning, day, wherever you are at. And I'll be seeing you guys again here very soon. And until then, y'all, tschüss.